Hello, I'm Daniel Johnson, and this is Best Thing. As you may know, each week our guests talk about the best things in their life, from TV and film to food to travel to music, and something random of their choice. This week's guest is beyond a superstar. Yes, she is Chinchilla. Now, Chinchilla has performed all over the world. She's even been on tour with Sting. She is a knockout performer with those vocals that can rival any star. And she's our guest today. We've also got Adam Harris keeping us all fact-checked. Bethia Beats bringing us some of the best in brand new music, expertly put together by the wonderful architect of this podcast, Professor Ollie Guillou. Where would we be without him? Well, that's a jam-packed show and I can't wait to get started, so enjoy. Next up, Adam Harris's Fact Chicken and interview with Chinchilla.
All right, guys, Adam, Fact Chicken, doing the fact check-in for you. This is one I've heard people talk about loads. Celery. Does it burn more calories to eat than it actually gives you by eating it? We're going to find out at the end of the episode.
Chinchilla, I am so excited to have you on my podcast. Thank you so much for doing it.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, it's funny because you were my last guest on my radio show. You know what I mean? And I'd like to say you're my first guest on the podcast, but I don't think that's true. But you are a very important guest on the first series of the podcast. There you go.
Was I the last guest on your radio show? Because after me, you were like, oh, God.
There's no point. Well, no, actually, let's get into this. You're the last guest on my podcast for one reason, is that we got the dates wrong, and you came traveling to me on one of the dates that you thought we were coming, but it was the month before. So we kind of squeezed you right at it, but it was an amazing show. And actually, all the shows I've done, the only show I own is our show. I was never sent any other show, but I've sent our show, which is, which I loved. So I do listen back to it a couple of times. Just like, so that's why I started this. Anyway, what have you been doing? I mean, I've seen some of your videos. You've been doing some dances. You've been doing some live performances, which, by the way, are breathtaking.
Thank you. I've been doing some. It's a funny old time, isn't it? I feel like every conversation about lockdown has to start with "We're in a weird time." It's the repeat of the word "weird," but it's a funny old time. And I've been trying to sort of I released this EP called Awakening I have no idea how long it was ago.
I think it was like 3 weeks, but maybe a bit longer than that, maybe 5 weeks ago. Because you were supposed to be doing a little tour, weren't you, as well?
Well, I was on tour.
Yes.
With Missio, who are a band from the USA. Ooh. And they're amazing and lovely guys, and it was honestly the best experience. It was my first time on a tour bus, so we were going around Europe, and it was proper tour with a tour bus and sleeping in those little coffin beds. And
wow,
Europe, we did Berlin and Cologne and Paris, and we did a London show. I think then that was when Corona hit. So then basically the tour got cancelled and we all had to come home, which was really sad. But,
and no one wants that. That's like the worst thing when you're in the middle of a tour. You know what you're doing. You've got ideas and the show's actually coming together nicely.
Yeah.
And then it stops.
Yeah. It was so much fun. I think I've always heard people be artists say going on tour, that's where the fun is. That's the fun bit of being an artist. That's the best bit. And I've always thought how good can it really be? You're doing shows every night, you're tired, you're not really going out, you're really tired. It's great. It's so fun. I thought I'd be really claustrophobic in the little bus bed. You're living on a bus. I get travel sick. I thought it was going to be stressful, but it was so good.
Yeah, but you're getting paid to do what you love. That's the difference, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you've been dreaming about, and having your music and playing to audiences that don't even know you and go crazy. I've seen some of the people that you've retweeted and stuff of loving your show, and when you performed at the awards in Estonia, people are like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah.
You know? We're going to go straight into it straight away. Food. How long have you been vegan?
About 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how have you found it just in just cooking at home and stuff like that? You just found alternatives?
Yeah, I think so. When I went vegan, I moved in with my I moved out of home for the first time a couple of years ago, and the people I moved in with, one girl was already vegan, and the other girl and me were like, "Should we just do it? We've been wanting to do it for ages. It'd be really easy if all of us are vegan because there'll be no like temptation in the house." I think it's really difficult, like if there's always cheddar around, you're like, I could just have a little bit of it, and it wouldn't be a problem. But sorry, what was the question?
I mean, I'm just saying when it comes to being vegan, like, and you're preparing food at home, I think you just said because you were living with people who were
Yeah.
vegan, it was kind of easy, and that temptation wasn't there. That no one's cooking bacon or chicken in the living room, in the kitchen, and then bringing it out into the living room to have food. And I think that these days it is a lot easier because I don't eat meat, but I do eat fish. But I think it's a lot easier to not be around it because then you don't miss it.
Yeah, 100%. I think the hardest thing was like going home for Christmas and having like a cheese board. I'm sorry, that is not okay. It's not.
Yeah, no.
It's not. That was temptation. That was like willpower at its finest.
Because they haven't got cheese right yet, have they? The vegan side, they haven't got the cheese just right. It's there. It's really there.
I always say that if someone's thinking about becoming a vegan and their reason for not is that they love cheese too much, which is quite common, which was mine. I always say that there's two types of cheese lovers, and one type is like the finest brie from like the south of France. And
you've changed your tone there as well. Like
the finest brie. It's like M&S commercial tone. And the other cheese lovers are like 4 a.m. You're drunk, you get home and you eat a block of cheddar. It's like it's one or the other. I think there's not really an in between. So
I straddle the lines of both.
Oh, do you? I don't know. Well, my point is invalid. Then you might be okay or you may not. But I always think if you're a 4 a.m. cheese engulfer, then you'll be all right because you can just supplement it with other things that sort of do the job. But if you enjoy the finer cheeses, then you probably won't find cheeses that.
Yeah, I think you are definitely right. Okay, so food is not really complicated because I think if you're a vegan, maybe 25, 30 years ago, I think it might be harder, but I think it's easier now. When it comes to food, what would you say is your go-to? What is the best thing when it comes to food for Chinchilla?
Oh, it's hard, isn't it? I'm obsessed with pasta. That's like if I could eat anything for the rest of my life, that would be it. It always does the trick. I will never get bored of it. I could eat it every night. I try and not, but I could.
I mean, what is it about pasta? Have you had it? Have you been to Italy? Have you had some pasta in Italy?
Yeah, but again, it's the 4 a.m. It's the 4 a.m. you get home and like, I don't know. I think I have some emotional connection to carbs. They're my boyfriend and my girlfriend and my family.
I kind of liking that. That's good. Do you like a good sauce, like a tomato sauce with it? What do you have with your pasta? Pesto?
Pesto from the jar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
None of this. I'm not really a chef. No. Yeah, pesto and vegan cheese. Maybe some pine nuts if I'm feeling.
Oh, you've gone posh now. Too far for me.
I know. Sorry.
I'm going to say that Chinchilla's best thing when it comes to food is pasta, mainly at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, correct.
And next up, we're going to be talking travel. Chinchilla, travel. Before we couldn't go on holiday, are you a fan of traveling around? You've been on tour, so I'm guessing a bit.
Yeah, it's actually really weird being in London for so long. I haven't been in London for this long for years. Like, well, really full of myself. Years. It's been about a year.
So many years. I mean, I can hear London in your background. You're literally living on the main road, aren't you? Right now?
Yeah. So excuse the.
I love the sirens. Yeah. I feel like it's real. It's real out there.
It's actually just sound effects.
Have you got if we take you all the way back and right in your childhood, did you go on holiday with family or friends, or do you remember because I only went to Cornwall. That's pretty much was my holiday, which I, by the way, loved. So what about you?
Yeah, we went on a few family holidays. We stayed in Europe. I didn't leave Europe till I was about till I went to Thailand with
Ooh.
my best friend in my gap year. We did like, people go for like months and travel around, and all our friends laughed at us because they were like, you are not we were saying we were traveling. They were like, you're not traveling, you're staying in like nice hotels, you're getting massages, like you're not traveling. We were like with our wheelie suitcases, like, excuse me, to all the backpackers. With like yeah, so I've been on like a nice amount of holidays. I think I didn't travel too much when I was younger, but I do more now.
Yeah, I think the funny thing is, when it comes to traveling, I think that we get to an age that we just want to kind of explore other cultures. Have you kind of come across, cultures you're like, oh wow, like that you didn't expect or you did expect, and that could be to do back with food, to do with just what people like. And when I went to Asia, I went to Vietnam, and I just felt like their culture was just so calming. It was beautiful.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting, isn't it? Learning about different cultures. I always find I went to New York for the first time, America for the first time, a couple of years ago. And I think we always expect, being from the UK, I think we expect Americans to be quite similar to us because we speak the same language. But actually, we're so far apart in the world, and we're in different continents, and it's a completely different culture. So it's really interesting, I think, going to America and meeting people who are so much more friendly. In a way, not friendly, but in a way that they'll come up to you and start a conversation, and you'll be like, wait, well, sorry, did I do something wrong? What? Why? Why are you?
Well, you become unfriendly. Like, why are you talking to me?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You're like, oh no, I should be nice. I'm in New York. It's one of those things.
yeah.
Where would you sort of say is your place that you like going to the most? Do you like going to the same places, or you kind of like a bit more free spirited and like to visit all different destinations?
I think because of music, I've weirdly like spent a lot of time in European cities like Estonia.
I love Tallinn, by the way. Tallinn's
Huh?
awesome. Tallinn is
Oh yeah,
awesome.
I thought you said Thailand. I was like,
No,
yeah,
Thailand is awesome,
Estonia.
but Tallinn is the capital of Estonia. There you
No,
go.
yeah, I know. It's amazing, isn't it? And I think it's really lucky through music that you go to places where you probably wouldn't have ever gone otherwise because you just didn't know about them because they're not like the mainstream holiday destinations or whatever. And Estonia is like one of my favorite places. I think it holds it's like a nostalgic personal love for it because I've done so much cool music stuff there and met so many nice people there. Oh, it's just, I feel like you can hear it in my voice. It's like in my
I
heart. I
can.
love it. Yeah.
I can. It is beautiful. Have you gone in the sea in Estonia? Because
No.
because in the Baltic, we went there in the summer, and you do it because you went through music, but I did it because I went with a lad's holiday.
Oh,
But
wow.
in the sea, it's because so many lakes kind of filter into it. It is not very salty.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
very weird, and you could walk out for quite a long time. It's really shallow until it kind of dropped down, but for ages. So if you get a chance, go in the sea in Thailand. Is what
So
I'm trying to say.
is it hard to swim? Is it harder to swim because it's less salty?
Yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, probably less buoyant.
Yeah.
Probably harder to float, I guess, on that one. Is there anywhere that you haven't been before we get to the best thing about travel for you? Is there anywhere that you haven't been that you're like, I want to go there?
Yeah, there's tons. I think I don't have a huge like traveler's head. Like I think some
Oh,
people really feel the need to like go and explore these places and they have like a list of places which they really want to go to. I don't really have that as much, but I just really like the places I end up going to, or like I
yeah.
really like exploring places in that way. I've always wanted to go to Australia. I've never been there. I want to explore more of America. I'd love to go on like a road trip around America.
I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Because we kind of take it for granted, and especially what sort of happened, this year. We're like, oh, wait a minute, we can't go to the places that we want to go to, or like you said, you can't be on tour right now and visit these places. It's one of those things that I think we're going to look back on and be like, right. And now you said, I want to go to Australia. I reckon in 5 years' time, you
Yeah,
will be in Australia promoting your music, of course, and then America and South America and those sort of places. But what I'm getting from you is that the best thing when it comes to travel is going to be Estonia.
yeah. It's. I think it's like there's certain places, isn't it, that really like are like part of your heart that you've been, and I think that will always be one of them because of. And I'm excited to find out where the next places will be that I really
That catch you.
I really love. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I like that too. So I'm going to say Chinchilla's best thing when it comes to travel is Estonia. You definitely got to go. Next up, we're going to be talking TV and film. TV and film. Chinchilla, I mean, there's a lot of time to watch TV and film right now. What have you been watching? What's your go-to at the moment?
So many things. I've been watching so many things. I am obsessed with the OC
Oh, you really?
at the moment. But I've just
Okay.
started watching it, and I never really got into it before. And I'm like, this is the best thing that was ever made. Anyway, so loving that. It's really a pick me up.
What's captured you with the OC? Why now? And what's got you hooked?
I don't know. I think it's heavy enough, and it's also like comic relief. I don't know. It might just be a phase. I have a lot of I've been watching so many things. Actually, I watched a really good. I'm just going to swerve the conversation because I watched.
Go on, do it.
Which hasn't. It's a series going on at the moment. Have you seen I May Destroy You?
No, isn't it on BBC?
Yeah, it's got Michaela Cole as the leading girl.
I've got it downloaded. Is it worth it?
It's so worth it. It's so good.
I'm going to do that tonight.
Yeah, it makes you laugh, cry. Do you know what's really cool? They in a lot of TV and film, I think when people take drugs in them, they sort of dim it down and they make it like they're really attractive, whatever, when they're on certain drugs. And I think in this, they don't shy away from it at all. Like they are fully. I think it's great because it doesn't glamorize it, but it also is so real. It's just
like
great.
The realism of doing it. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna watch it. If we sort of go back and sort of talk about your childhood, what were your go-to films? What did you watch on repeat?
Bugsy Malone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like my whole childhood. I don't know why. Yeah, that and
it was
Grease.
awesome. That's why.
Huh?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're so poppy. I love that.
I know, and that's why I am who I am today. We used to actually print out. Me and my friend in primary school used to print out the full scripts of Bugsy Malone and Grease and other things, and perform them in the playground, but not perform. We used to rehearse them. I don't know what. I remembered that the other day and was like, that is such an odd thing. Imagine teachers walking past us like, okay, everyone else is playing It and Sticky Toffee Pudding, and we're like, my name is. Everybody!
Fat Sam's Grand Slam.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's funny when it comes to the TV programs. I was highly influenced myself by sort of Disney films and stuff like that. And I think I watched them on repeat, and then I watched my sort of niece do that as well. My nephew kind of do that, and then I guess those films sort of grab you. And when things like Grease and Bugsy Malone and those sort of sing feel good kind of films come out, I think that you do watch it on repeat because I think it's good to know all the lyrics and know what they're saying character wise. Yeah. Are you a big film buff? Do you have a genre of film that you like to watch?
Oh, I'm quite wide in taste of films. I feel like it very much depends on the night. Like at the moment, I think because it's lockdown, I'm panicking when my housemate is like, we could watch this, like The Princess Diaries. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, I can't watch something I've seen before because otherwise I'm just wasting my life. It's just another day, and I'm just taking up the time with films that I've seen before. I feel like I need to be learning something at least if I'm watching a film. So I'm trying to. So I watch the OC. No, but I've been.
You've get to a high class there. I felt like that highbrow.
But I've been watching. Yeah, I think sort of educational films that actually move you in a certain way or teach you something about a culture that you need to know more about, or things like that. I'm really into. But yeah.
I mean, it's super important, and I think that right now we're not being able to go to the cinema, so I am catching up on some of those old films that I didn't catch up on, or some of the ones I missed at the cinema. I watched Hereditary, which is on Netflix, and with Toni Collette, and it's kind of this kind of very. It's kind of weirdly not a horror, but people would kind of deem it as a horror. It's a must watch. I don't know if you're a fan of horrors. Can you take a horror? Do you have bad nightmares?
I mean, my favorite program is the OC, so that might tell you
Okay.
something. No, I'm awful with horrors, but I
Are
I'm
you?
also love them. It's like
Yeah, I
a
think we're all the same, to
disease.
hide behind the sofa and
Yeah.
be like, I'm going to ask you the question, and there's no wrong answer to this. Are you a Friends fan? Do you like Friends?
Oh, yes. And there is a wrong answer to that. And that answer is no. Let me tell you right now, Daniel. Are you?
Of course. I mean, it's
Thank
one of those
God.
programs that is on my house, like on the TV all the time,
Yeah.
and it's just good for the background. I still laugh at the same jokes that I've known for ages. It's really, I don't know why, and why did Friends kind of catch you? What do you reckon? Why Friends is still relevant right now?
I don't know, but it's the pretty much only TV show which makes me cackle out loud, like cackle. And it's multiple times in an episode, like my friends watch it, my two housemates watch it with me and are like, you really love this, don't you? I'm like, yeah, you do. This is the thread that sewed my humor like in me. It's
It becomes your own language, doesn't it? Like an
yeah,
inside joke.
yeah.
Character-wise, who's your closest character to yourself, would you say? You can have a
I
merge of two
can't.
of them, by the way. You can merge two. I'll
Maybe.
tell you mine. I'll tell you mine.
Yeah.
I'm definitely Monica, but with
Okay.
the edges of Ross.
Okay, well, they're siblings, so you could be like the third sibling.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind being a Geller. That's fine. I don't mind that.
I think I'm maybe
I don't want to guess for you.
I'm Joey. I
I
don't
think
know.
I think you may be a bit Joey.
And a bit of Rachel.
And a little bit of Rachel because you're
Yeah.
glamorous as well. But also, you like pasta, and I think he likes pasta as well. And he's
Yeah.
Italian, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like the Italian food. Okay, we're gonna say for Chinchilla. I'm guessing on this one when it comes to TV and film, when it's the best thing for Chinchilla. Right now, I'm gonna go with the OC.
Yeah, right now. But I also just need a couple of mentions.
Go on.
Burlesque.
As in the film?
Yeah.
With Cher?
Yeah.
And Christina Aguilera?
Yeah.
I just thought you were just talking about dancing. I was just like, that's a different conversation. Let's talk.
No, Burlesque, amazing. Yep. And Step Up.
Oh, old school.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love it.
Okay. So Chinchilla's best thing when it comes to TV and film is the OC, Step Up. And what was the other one?
Burlesque.
Burlesque. See, I forgot that. Yeah. I haven't seen that either.
And
I'll have to watch it. I'll get it on my list.
There's so many, Daniel.
Too many. She just likes TV and film. That's why. Next up, and I cannot wait for you to talk about this. We're going to be talking. What is the best thing to do with music with Chinchilla?
So there's a late night text. Believe me when I say I just wanted to put it all to bed.
Hi everyone, it's Bethia from Bethia's Beats. My chosen artist for this week is the very talented Tara Flanagan. Her sound will be described as punchy, potent pop, supported by emotive lyrics. And for me, it's just the tone of her voice. She just has the most incredible tone. She's had some amazing career highlights so far, such as performing at the BBC Introducing Live Lounge and supporting Rebecca Ferguson. And she's very recently released her latest single called Emotions. Here's a snippet of it playing in the background. To listen to the full song, it will be played at the end of the podcast, along with all the details of Tara's social media and where to find the song, and that will all be linked below. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
The way we're talking like we used to. But I know I just gotta get a hold of my emotions.
Chinchilla, music. Come on, this is your life, isn't it? Not the TV program. Obviously, actually, music is This Is Your Life. When did you first get into music? What can you remember? Like, what was one of the first songs you remember hearing or you bought?
You know what? I have an answer for this. I always the other day, like a few days ago, this is one of those moments where you're like, this is so weird because I'm gonna shut up. Right. I remembered the first CD I bought, and I remembered like a part of one of the song names on it. And then, anyway, I found it. I found the CD, and it was called Glamour Hits. Okay. And it was and of course it was. No, it was cool though. It was really good. I re-listened to some of the songs, and I was like, yeah, these are good, man. This is why.
Can you remember any of the songs? What were on there?
So What Is It About Men
Yeah.
by Amy Winehouse was on there.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Love
the
that.
one that I knew was on there because I
Mhm.
remember learning that. And then there was a song by Skin from Skunk Anansie.
I was listening to Skunky Nancy but today because she's done a song with Bastille and Rag and Bone Man.
What?
I'll send it to you. It's
That's
like a
so
remix
cool.
sort of thing. But yeah, I heard her voice. I was like, wait a minute, that's Skin. I can definitely tell her voice. But yeah, she's awesome. So yeah, so it had Skin on, it had Winehouse on. Who else?
So the rest of them I didn't really.
No, you just listened to those ones, didn't you? That's
Yeah,
right,
I remember just repeating. But also another one of my first CDs was Atomic Kitten.
Which was it a single or was it an album?
So I don't know, but I know that The Tide Is High was on it.
Okay, cool. That's probably their album.
Was making dance routines to it. I had me and my sister. My sister did one to the Cheeky Girls, and I did one to Atomic Kitten, and we were performing them to my grandparents.
They had a number one. Whole Again, that was a number one. I think actually they had a couple. Yeah. I think they did. Yeah. They did right. Tide Is High might have been number one, number 5. So when do you remember the music that your parents listened to? Did that influence the sort of music that you're into now?
It must have. It must have. My mum, sorry, this is like a personal joke between us.
Go on, do it.
She says that in every interview, I throw her under the bus by making her sound like one of those tracksuit Juicy Couture mums who listens to. I remember her always listening to Elvis Presley, Robbie Williams.
Nice.
And that was her two people. She did listen to other people, but
and yet again, you still throw your mum under the bus again.
Yeah,
so another interview, another mum
Elvis,
growing.
Yeah, it's important that happens. But also Tracy Chapman and nice. Blur.
Okay, yeah, that's an eclectic mix of music.
Yeah, and then my dad always had a big taste in music as well. A big one for him is Fiona Apple.
Yeah.
She's cool. Yeah, she's cool. And St. Vincent, which is not when I was growing up, but that's more recently.
It's funny because I think from being a child, we have it in us, it is, the main thing that we kind of go to, and we learn all these words, and we don't have the best music taste. And then we grow up, and then we get older, and then we're still nostalgic about our old music. But what are you listening to now that you think you might be nostalgic about later on?
I'm permanently listening to Beyoncé all the time.
I thought this may come up. Yeah. I've written it down there might be one of your choices.
I need to chill on bringing it up all the time in interviews. But what am I meant to do, Danyl?
Because she slays it. Literally. Even me saying slay, it's weird, but she is the queen. She's the queen, the king, the master. She's all of it.
Yeah. But I think there's been some I think there'll be some albums that really remind me of lockdown, which I've been repeating throughout lockdown, on runs and on that. Well, that's it.
I've seen you've been going out for runs as well. I saw on Instagram that you were doing a couple of runs as well. Yeah. How's that been going? How's the running going?
Well, you'll also see on Instagram that I stopped. No, actually, I had a leg injury.
Is it still there? Have you still got one? You made it feel like it's not there anymore.
No, it's going, but
okay,
I fell out of a window.
You fell out of a window?
Yeah.
What?
And it was quite a short window. It wasn't actually as bad as it sounds, but it was very painful. And my leg was just screwed up for ages, so I stopped running. And
we'll get better with your leg. It's fine. Oh, bless you. I feel bad now talking about running and stuff. You're like, no, I can't run anymore. I've actually really hurt my leg.
Thanks.
So you and music, you have such a way. When I've seen you live, first time I ever met you, I saw your live show, and then you got cut off right at the end before your main song. But I mean, what is how do you identify when it comes to your music and genre and stuff like that? I think that you're everything, and also your own genre. How would you describe yourself?
I think attitudy pop. That's nice. Sort of what I'd go for. Souly, it gets bigger as my brain moves.
I'm writing this all down. 1 second.
Souly, keep going. Attitudy, feministy, empowering pop. No, I think,
and it is.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot about the messages for me. Lyrics have always been a big thing for me. So I think, it's kind of difficult to put yourself in a genre, isn't it? When you're
just you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Like, I think that you're actually carving out your own genre of what you do. And what I like even more, and you sort of told me when I met you, and you were just so lovely, and you didn't know me, and I was just friends with someone else you knew, and you were so sweet, and you came over, and we were talking about your music, and I was with a friend of mine, and he loves you and plays your stuff all the time. But you do like some of your own arrangements, or all your own arrangements as well. You know, I guess when you work with producers, they sometimes don't get. Not you, but just artists. And you're like, let's find out who I am. And the best way of doing that is creating it yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a me problem, maybe it is, but I think I sometimes struggle to like completely let go in a songwriting session.
It's called being an artist, babes. That's what I'm going to say.
Exactly. And there's things that I would write into songs that, like this EP I've just released, is all about sex. Yeah. Pretty much. Well, I say that, but there's actually like three songs on it are all about sex. But
which ones are those? I'm joking. It's obvious. You just have a listen.
But like, I wouldn't have written those songs, I think, so freely if I was writing them with someone, because I would have held back a bit and been like, oh, do you think
let's hold hands? Maybe kiss on the cheek.
Like, I can just imagine. I don't know. I can just imagine.
You don't mind a swear word in the song, I think.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? That's good. I like that. We'll go back to it, and we'll talk about your music right at the end as well. But I guess for you, and like you might say, oh, it's cliche and stuff like that, but I don't think it is, because I think that you may not be as empowered, not by music, but by someone being so strong as the artist you have mentioned. And I think for you, when it comes to best thing about music, I guess it's freedom, because I think it gives you utter freedom. Would you say the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great answer there.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying with the artist that you mentioned, which is Beyoncé.
Yeah.
I think that she's just free, and you've seen her grow.
Yeah.
And that's the same with you.
I think. Oh, thank you. That's really nice.
True.
I think when Lemonade came out, it honestly was like. So it was so weird. It was like 3 minutes after I got dumped.
Right. Okay.
And it dropped as a surprise 3 minutes afterwards. And I was like, right.
She was waiting. She knew.
This is something else. Like, and that album was incredible, like in how it like resonated with me. And I think that like was a bit of a turning point in music for me. I was like, okay, this is like, I don't know, you know, when something really like is, you sort of don't know it at the time, but it restarts the next chapter of your life, kind of. And that's like the soundtrack of my like independent. I'm like so obsessed with Beyonce, but it was like the soundtrack of like my independence, my solo independence, my like morale, and like learning more about myself as an individual. Whether that be
I think it's like, you can just say it was the beginning of you. It was you know what I mean? Like, you were just saying, right, now I'm just me. I don't have to be identified with anyone else being my other half or being my friends or family.
Yeah.
I'm gonna identify as myself, and I think that's really strong. The same as Beyonce. Can I say Chinchillas, when it comes to best thing about music, is I'm gonna say a Lemonade, probably with a caveat Beyonce, because I think those two together was a good time in your life when that came out.
100%. And also like Lizzo and
oh yeah,
I always forget to mention other people.
We'll keep on just putting on caveats for Chinchilla's things that she just adds more. Okay, so we've got Lemonade, Beyonce, Lizzo, and many others when it comes to music. Too many to mention. Yeah. Next up, we're going to be talking something random. Chinchilla, something random. Okay, I don't know what you're going to say. I have no idea. But what is your best thing that is something random?
I could say anything right now.
Anything you want.
The power is mine.
It is completely yours.
Boxing.
Boxing?
That's what I'm going to hit you with. Hey, excuse the pun.
A little pun there as well. Boxing. Why is this your best thing? What? I never knew this. Are you into boxing?
No. Well, no. Here's the thing. We'll know now about the leg injury that I just explained. Yes. So me and my housemate were watching Miss Congeniality, another banger of a film.
A classic.
Yeah. And we were like, oh, this is what we need. Like, we were thinking, like, we need something more for this living room, because it's like a pile of stuff. We were like, we just need something to make it better. And then we were watching it, and she starts boxing in it. We were like, let's just buy a punch bag. It's lockdown. Like, we can't really. I was like, I can't run anymore. Like, I was getting a bit depressed because I was just in bed all day. Well, not in bed all day, but I was like,
Just
I couldn't
chilling.
go on walks or run or stand up as advised by the doctor. So I was like, what can I do? Like, I need something to get anger out. So we bought a punch bag. And I've been boxing a little bit. So I've only done it a couple of times, but it's a great removal of aggression.
Which, by the way, I'm going to applaud you. Just a little applaud there, because that is probably the most random of best things that we've had so far. And
Is it?
but I like it, yeah, because, well, it is a little bit, but I kind of like it because it's of the time. You watched a wonderful film, Miss Congeniality, and you were just like, I can't do something, and instead of just laying on your laurels and not doing anything and just going, I'm not going to do anything, you decided to take charge, to get fit, and to do boxing. I mean, would it ever lead you into becoming a boxer? Are we going to see Chinchilla the boxer?
Well, I kind of think it's quite fitting. I'm like, this is pretty good for my personality, actually. My sister's been doing it for a while, and she came around and taught me some, like, showed me the
Moves.
ropes.
Yeah.
And,
Also, the ropes is in boxing. Can you do skipping?
yeah.
Can you skip?
I can't. No, I can't skip.
Well, right now you can't. You've got a bad leg. Be careful with your leg.
But soon, maybe.
So your sister was kind of giving you like kind of 1-2 movements, like combination stuff?
Yeah, so she came around and was like, okay, so you wanna stand side on to the bag so that your opponent
I'm doing it now.
it's less surface area for them to hit. So she was
Ah.
she was teaching me in the way of, like, combat. I was like laughing a bit because I was like, this wasn't really what I had in mind, but it's amazing. It's cool. Like, and you know what? Actually, I wanted to tie this in. I think with body positivity and stuff, with like feeling with self-esteem and fat shaming and all this stuff, I think it's quite hard to find sometimes an exercise that, for me anyway, that sort of like takes you out of your own head, and you're just exercising for fitness and for like mental health and stuff, and not having in the back of your mind that, like, oh, it's for my body, it's for like whoever, it's because of society tells me I need to look a certain way, it's because I'm striving to be this certain shape that I'm not at the moment. And I think boxing is one of the first things I've found that I don't have that in my head at all, because it's just aggression. So even if that comes into your head, you hit it out and you just feel great. And I think it's like I don't know, I just think that's a really nice side of it, that there isn't that you're not thinking in your head like, oh, I need to be skinny. You're just hitting a bag, and it's so like, yeah.
And I think that's great. And like I said, I think what's really nice is that you found something you're like, I can get my energy out of it. I think what you're doing is you're looking after your mental health, because that's goes hand in hand. Also, to tie this all up together, maybe linked to Bugsy Malone. If you wanna be a boxer.
It's on my boxing playlist. Like, not joking.
Is it really?
Yeah, and then I start.
Are you gonna sample it for your new song? I feel like you should have a little bit of a. I think it would work.
Yeah, it would be so cool. Actually, that'd be great.
Okay,
if it was
so
sampled.
I'm gonna say Chinchilla is the best thing, which is something random, is boxing. Yeah.
Yeah. At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, at the moment, until it changes to, I know, kite surfing. What are you doing next? So when everything goes back to, I'm going to do quote, normal, what's happening next for you?
Well, at the moment, yeah, it's weird because I've just released my EP, so I'm sort of like still promoting that, but I'm also writing a lot. I think this time has allowed me to like write some weird songs.
Enjoy. I can't wait. I'm going to be enjoying those, I tell you.
Yeah, I think like it's me, myself, and I. I'm not allowed to go on runs. I can't walk. Like, I'm boxing.
But you are boxing, yeah.
And I'm just, the only other thing I'm doing really is like writing songs. So I'm writing a lot of like fun songs, which I'm excited to release. Sort of planning the next singles and what to do next, and what will follow up the EP. I know I've got some trips coming up, but who knows if they'll go ahead or be cancelled. But yeah, so there's a lot going on. I'm keeping busy.
I mean, I have to say, and not fangirling here at all, you are incredible, and I can't wait to see how bright you're going to shine, even brighter than you are already. But just what you're creating now is such a great thing. And do you know how many people are going to be looking up to you like you look up to Beyonce? Is going to be incredible. It's true.
Damn.
Sorry, that's fine. Where can people find you if they want to find your music and find you on social media? What are your handles?
Instagram is Chinchilla_music, and then Facebook and Twitter are Chinchilla Music.
And you can get yourself on Spotify and Apple Music and everything like that to get
Oh
music.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, you've got to promote that as well.
Chinchilla on Spotify, Apple Music, everything.
You're just trying to get follows. That's what you were going for there,
sorry.
wasn't it? Just Instagram follows thing.
I don't know why I didn't think to promote the actual place you can hear my music. Yeah, go on Spotify. That's the best one.
Spotify. Yeah,
and
that's the one,
YouTube.
yeah.
You can see my face. Woohoo!
Woo, woo. Well, you look delightful. Thank you so much, Chinchilla. You're a star as always. Good luck with everything you're doing, and good luck with the new music that you've going to be bringing out, and with the EP, which is banging. We've actually got you on Bethia Beats, so people would have already heard you. We use the song No No as well, which is so good. So congratulations with all that.
Thank you, Dan. You too.
Thank you very much. Oh, well, stop it. It's time for those thank yous. Just want to say thank you so much to our guest today, Chinchilla. Absolute awesome guest. Also to Adam Harris, keeping us all fact-checked. And Bethia Beats, bringing us some brand new music bangers. We couldn't do it without him. Yes, Professor Ollie, making sure we're all lovely edited and put together. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And the imagery for this podcast was by JMD. Music in the background was written by me, Tom Baxter, and Jimmy Lundy. Bethia Beats track this week is Tara Flanagan, and this is Emotions. See you next time.
So there's a late night text. Believe me when I say I just wanted to put it all to bed. But now I can't get to sleep. My eyes are open, why they fighting against me? How can I be tripping when I'm laying still? Over words that I thought I could never feel again. But I guess that just happens. And I know I got way too much emotion. I'm scared to leave my wounds wide open. Still you're talking, and I'm watching, knowing that I should just go. There's something that I like about it though, the way we're talking like we used to. But I know I just gotta get a hold of my emotions. And I've been doing fine, but sometimes all it takes is one too many glasses of wine to make myself forget, and then remember everything that we both left. Am I just gripping onto any kind of soul? I didn't even know that I felt so alone. But I guess that just happens. And I know I got way too much emotion. I'm scared to leave my wounds wide open. Still you're talking, and I'm watching, knowing that I should just go. There's something that I like about it though, the way we're talking like we used to. But I know I just gotta get a hold of my emotions. Every now and then it gets hard. You're playing with my emotions. If only I could turn it all off. And you make it really hard to think. I'm trying my best not to sink into all of these emotions. And I know I got way too much emotion. I'm scared to leave my wounds wide open. Still you're talking, and I'm watching, knowing that I should just go. There's something that I like about it, though, the way we're talking like we used to. But I know I just gotta get a hold of my emotions. I'm scared to leave my wounds wide open. Still you're talking, and I'm watching, knowing that I should just go. There's something that I like about it, though, the way we're talking like we used to. But I know I just gotta get a hold of my emotions.
All right, guys, Adam, Fat Chicken, very well done for sitting through 45 minutes of Danyl Johnson's podcast. Proud of you all. It's really not easy. We're going to find out whether celery burns more calories than it gives you. Very common sort of fact people drop on you. And it looks like it's true, actually, as well as green beans, broccoli, garlic, tomatoes, things that all actually put you into negative calories. So, I mean, I don't know if that means there's no calories in them or there's no space in your mouth for cake when you're eating it. But either way, that's pretty good news. Get on the celery, guys. See you next time.